Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're diving into this massive, absolutely fascinating online phenomenon. If you've spent any time scrolling through video platforms lately, you've almost certainly stumbled across these viral, first-person spiritual monologues. I mean, they are everywhere. These are sprawling, highly emotional audiovisual experiences, and they're specifically designed to bring immediate psychological and spiritual comfort to millions of viewers. Today, we're actually going to analyze a roughly 3,000-word viral text from this exact genre to figure out the architecture of its appeal. Like, how exactly does it craft such a compelling sense of peace? Well, let's find out together. Just listen to this opening line. I know every burden in your life, every wound, even your smallest pain. Wow. Right out of the gate, this establishes a staggering level of intimacy. Notice how the source material doesn't begin with some grand, high-level theology. It starts right inside our hidden, daily struggles. By claiming absolute knowledge of a specific, unspoken pain, the text instantly hooks you. It establishes this deep emotional resonance and an immediate sense of being totally, deeply seen and understood. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to break this whole thing down into 5 key pillars based on the source text. 1. The divine invitation. 2. Promises of protection. 3. 3 steps to peace. 4. Conquering anxiety and fear. And finally, 5. The ultimate reward. All right, let's kick things off with pillar number 1, the divine invitation. Before it asks literally anything of the listener, the text creates this incredibly safe space using super vivid poetic imagery. Consider this phrase right here. Like a hungry little bird, your soul is nourished. It's fascinating, right? Because it deliberately validates our feelings of fragility and need. The text explicitly invites you to just banish your melancholic thoughts and allow yourself to be loved. It's this profound, empathetic connection designed to make us feel sheltered from the very first second. Moving right along to pillar number 2, promises of protection. And this brilliantly illustrates just how targeted this message really is. Because once you feel safe, the source text pivots hard. It doesn't just offer abstract love, it comes right down to earth and addresses very real, modern-day, highly stressful situations. I mean, it explicitly promises divine intervention for the exact earthly struggles that keep us all awake at night. It calls out financial debt, urging you to avoid accumulating more while promising freedom from it. It acknowledges the deep, complicated hurt caused by family conflicts. It talks about physical healing and recovery, literally mentioning touching hearts and mending wounds. And it even offers protection from adversaries and mockers. It totally validates the cruelty of the real world and then promises tangible, real-life solutions. Now on to the third pillar, 3 steps to peace. Here's where things get a bit more interactive. The source material transitions from just offering unconditional comfort to establishing a reciprocal relationship. The text outlines 3 explicit instructions that it says you must do today to calm your soul and banish anxiety. Step 1 is absolute surrender, to give your heart completely and sincerely. Step 2 is to offer heartfelt gratitude in silence. And step 3 is an instruction to share these exact words of hope with others. Interestingly enough, that final step acts as a brilliant built-in mechanism for the message to go viral, asking the viewer to spread the comfort to keep the whole cycle going. Actually, let's zoom in on that second step for a second. The way the source text defines gratitude is really quite fascinating. It treats it as much more than a simple, polite gesture. It instructs the listener to compile a list of blessings, both current and expected, and even give thanks for the trials. The text vividly describes this act of thanksgiving as a way to literally remove a blindfold, obscuring your vision, which allows you to see the blessings that are already surrounding you. It positions gratitude as this powerful, transformative cognitive tool designed to trigger miracles and heal the soul. Let's move to the 4th pillar, conquering anxiety and fear. Let's see how this builds, because now the text pivots back inward to tackle our psychological battles. The source relies heavily on a really stark juxtaposition of a before and an after. It validates your past state, acknowledging that, hey, just yesterday there was fear, uncertainty, trembling legs, and sleepless nights. But then it immediately dictates the after state, declaring that today you awaken with faith, resolve, steadfastness, and triumphant courage. It promises this profound journey from darkness to light, effectively giving the listener permission to just leave their anxiety completely in the past. And to really cement that transformation, the text repeatedly uses these incredibly empowering declarations like, you are not weak, you are strong, you are more than a conqueror. This is an absolutely crucial psychological reframing. The monologue serves to rebuild shattered self-worth, assuring the listener that every adversary they face exists only to be vanquished by them. It equips people with an identity of absolute victory against any future emotional or physical attacks. And that brings us to our fifth and final pillar, the ultimate reward. So the crucial point here is how this text flawlessly blends the deeply spiritual with the intensely practical as the ultimate payoff for your faith and loyalty. The rewards aren't just one or the other. You get the whole shebang. There is the massive spiritual promise of unshakable eternal life and a permanent, secure place deep within the Creator's heart, a sanctuary no one can ever take you out of. But simultaneously, it promises immediate earthly success. It claims that earthly doors will open and authorities will actually act in your favor. It's the ultimate dual promise, worldly success combined with profound eternal security. We're going to wrap up this explainer with a really direct, provocative question pulled straight from the climax of the source text. Now answer me, do you believe and do you love me? The text promises that upon receiving this response, a great miracle will be performed. It's such a fascinating encapsulation of the highly interactive nature of modern digital spirituality. It doesn't just want to be heard, it demands your engagement. And that leaves us with a pretty intriguing thought. In an era where algorithms heavily dictate what we see, are we simply finding comfort in these digital spaces? Or are these spaces perfectly engineered to find us when we are at our most vulnerable? Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.